friends, welcome back to the Messed Up Movies Podcast, the podcast celebrating movies and filmmakers and Alex's journey through self-healing and love that embrace the insane, the outrageous, the unhinged, the off-kilter, and the all-around kind of messed up fun and radical self-care that Alex is showing. Oh, my God. I'm your host, Griffey, joined as always by my friend, co-host, and man who is not a dried-out mummy, but a wet, luscious garden of artistic integrity and love for himself, Alex Dandino.
Yep, and his last pod appearance, Alex Dandino.
Alex, don't run from love, right?
Don't
the whole
run
story
from
of
feelings.
Richard. The whole story of the mummy is a man who loves so much he's willing to defile a corpse, become a corpse himself, and come back thousands of years later to defile another body. I think is what 1959's The Mummy is all about.
True love, folks. It's true love right there.
Alex and I are working on we're not going to be mummies to ourselves. We're going to love and embrace. We're going to embalm our souls in self-love. That's what we're working on now.
That's what Griffey's working on. I'm sticking with my crusty, sad soul.
Alex wants the dark soil of his heart to remain untilled. And audience, you're going to help me. We're not letting that happen anymore. Alex, we love you because you love you.
Nobody knows what this is a reference for.
Yeah, everyone who came in for Hammer, Horse, the Mummy's like, that's it!
All of this is off-air conversation.
Yeah, everyone who likes The Mummy from 1959 is so old they hate the idea of being nice to yourself, and they've turned the show off. Before we get started, please go to the Messed Up Movies Podcast Patreon page. Support the show, especially this month, especially into the stocking stuffers in December. This is the best time of the year to join the Patreon. Join our community. That would mean the world to us. Go make sure you're subscribed to the Misfit Parade YouTube channel so that you can see video versions of the pods and lots of other fun stuff we're doing. Thank you. We appreciate you. All right. We're here at The Mummy, Hammer Horror's version of The Mummy.
Yeah, 1959.
Again, we got Pakush. Again, we got Kali. I'm just going to start here. I'm going to say it. This movie kicks the shit out of the Universal The Mummy. It's just better across the board. Mm-hmm. It's one of the first movies for Christopher Lee where you're like, his costume's not insanely worse. He is a mummy. He's a wrapped up mummy. Does he have that one like poster image that Karloff had? No, absolutely not. But is the mummy costume throughout a perfectly fine, soaked in mud mummy costume? Yeah. Absolutely.
It's a very different mummy strategy anyways. So
yeah, and I like this one, right? And the Karloff, they talked about like, you've never seen a mummy like this. He was fighting under the bandages and stuff. Yeah. This one, it just plays. It's like this guy was a huge fucking behemoth. And as he's wrapped up, like Christopher Lee walks through this, he looks like the monster in, War of the World, or The Day the Earth Stood Still. When that fucking giant automaton walks out and just starts melting politicians.
Klaatu?
Is that what it's called? But it's one of those like iconic images. Christopher Lee is huge. He's scary. He's a fucking murder machine in this one. And I will say, he's way better as the priest than even Karloff was. So I think this is the first time when we're doing a Universal did it and then Hammer did it. This is maybe the only one I can find where Hammer completely whips Universal. Alex, what did you think of Hammer's edition of The Mummy?
I like this version. I like the revenge plot. You know, I like the revenge. I like this version of The Mummy. I like it being a little more. I mean, there's still the love there's still that love angle, you know, which was also a good motivator for the Mummy himself. I do like the revenge, again, this is a good use of B plot.
Yeah, I like the Mummy just being a fucking mummy.
Yeah, the first Mummy is so, it's 70 minutes long. Like it's just like we got to get to the end of this thing. So it's like an A story only. I like that there's a little extra stuff going on here. And again, Christopher Lee is just a great mummy in general because he's fucking huge. And also, it's not like he's a bad actor, but he's just, he understands the assignment. Peter Cushing's there. You have all these pieces that work really well. To be fair though, the bar for being better than the original Mummy is fairly low, so there wasn't a lot. I think
people have nostalgia for that movie. It's not good. It's not very good.
Here's the thing. We have the Universal Studios passes because it's just a good thing to get the kid out of the house. He loves going on the studio tour. He really likes the King Kong ride and all this other shit. The thing he always shouts about, though, so right now on the lot, right, it's Halloween Horror Nights, but they've had this through the summer. They have these murals of all the Universal monsters. And so it's the Bride, the Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein. Not the Mummy, it's the creature from the Black Lagoon. The Mummy is, like, mentioned. It is not a key feature within, like, the Universal monster movie oeuvre. Like, I think they'd pick another character over the Mummy. I don't think if this was the first Mummy movie we saw, that would have been the case. Like, let's say this was made by Universal. I think if the 59 Mummy had been made by Universal, this would have been a Pantheon flick, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, again, I think this movie just does a lot better. The human characters are way more engaging in this one, right? Peter Cushing is just doing more work than everyone did in Universal. The idea that there is this Egyptian man who's like, please, stop fucking defiling our lands.
Yeah.
And this whole guy's like, fuck you, I've got permits. And he has this great line I like where he's like, we're not allowed to dig up our own dead, only rich outsiders, right? Essentially, like, people from the museum get to do that.
Yeah.
Or no, actually, that's what Imhotep said in the first one, right? And this one kind of doubles down on it, right? So they take that Karloff idea of only white people from outside get to come in and fucking pillage our land.
Only colonizers are there to pillage.
Right, and this one goes very much into that, too, where the guy's like, I've got permits. And he goes, please stop. And he goes, we have nothing more to talk about. And he goes, if you open that, it will portend your doom, right? Portend to your doom.
That's
what I think is cool is that he's saying this in I will do it if I have to. I will fucking kill you if I have to because I'm sick of you guys taking all our shit. He's kind of this, like, modern representative of what is in that tomb, right? Mm-hmm. And there is a mummy in there. But what's crazy is I'd forgotten, right? So they go in and they find this scroll of life, right? And the guy pulls it out. He's like, ah! And he sees a mummy and he goes fucking mad. For 3 years, this guy's absolutely insane, right? Maybe more, maybe like 10 years, right? Whatever.
No, it's 3 years.
Because Cushing this is a funny thing in this movie. Peter Cushing was hurt in real life. So they adjusted the movie to where Peter Cushing is just in a tent, in a cot, and he's like, hey, what's going on in there? And they're like, you should go get your legs set or you're going to be a gimp your whole life. And he's like, I couldn't possibly miss the discovery of the tomb. It's like, bitch, you can't go in there. Go get your legs set. And he's like, no, I'm fine. So they do that so they can explain the rest of the movie while he's fucking hobbling around limping because he had a knee injury. So the movie is, thing happens, then we have to run to a tent to tell Peter Cushing what happened. And essentially this mummy came out. Because his father went insane, they pillaged all the stuff they wanted. Peter Cushing's like, I'll fucking blow this thing, right? They blow the gate to the tomb or whatever, and the guy's in the wood with the fez, and he goes, I will dig up that mummy and have my vengeance. And I was like, this is already immediately a more engaging plot than the original Mummy, right? This is about the people of Egypt being sick of the Egypt craze that started with that Karloff mummy, right? They're like, get the fuck out of here.
There's like a penalty for disturbing the tomb. Like again, the original, in the 1932 one, the penalty is like, oh yeah, you go a little crazy and you don't really, it's like sucks. But like,
you have a heart attack, which they probably already would have because they did no cardio and just ate red meat all the time.
Yeah, they were going to die very shortly after that anyhow.
That's not Imhotep, brother. That's steaks.
But I do think that it's a really fascinating wrinkle to add this like other cultural element, which again, in the 30s, probably not thinking about it. You're just trying to make your movie. Now you have the time and like the foresight to be like, oh, let's actually make a movie that like doesn't necessarily still address these things properly, but it's a great B plot. It's a great impetus for the movie to actually be about more than just, oh man, the mummy's back and wants to, bang his mummy bride,
Yeah, and there's something about England at the time where this is fascinating because a lot of like really great folk horror is about to start merging here. And a lot of folk horror is the fact that there's this whole ancient world underneath the English soil, right? If anywhere you're digging or tilling or looking, you might find a skeleton, a bone, an artifact, something like that. So I think in the English setting too, there's this idea of this kind of dangerous history that we are overlooking. And the fact that they're doing that elsewhere, I think this becomes really fertile ground for this kind of tale. Because we have now the Egyptian guy comes back to England with all of his artifacts. And the guy's like, I don't trust the look of him. He's a foreigner. And it's like, oh, but you guys don't care if you're the fucking foreigners going over there and subjugating all the Egyptians and stealing their shit. So immediately you just have conflicts and themes that are reaching and digging under the surface deeper than the 32 Mummy did.
Yeah, I mean, there's just more meat on the bone. I think that's like really sort of the benefit of the Hammer horror movie is there's just more meat on the bone. Also, like, there's just more thought put into, I think, what it means to, like, desecrate a tomb, what it means to do these kinds of things. Because again, like, it's 32. I can't begrudge people who are just trying to get their movie made. I do like that there's just thought that goes into what it is to actually do these things. Not even like, and it doesn't have to be this deep, brooding conversation. It can be as simple as literally like, when the dad like tells Peter, like, listen, whoever went into that tomb is gonna fucking die. I don't know what else to say. Like I'm like, that's great. That gives all these characters motivation to continue to live. Like, that's perfect.
Well, it's also funny too because the other thing this one does, not being in Egypt, it's as if the sins of a long while back, right? This is the sins of the father thing. Your father's the one who opened that and went in. Yeah. And now this Egyptian guy's like, well, I'm going to get that whole fucking line. I'm going to punish all of them, right? So he comes to their territory. Peter Cushing did this, years ago, right? His uncle did it years ago. They weren't as doggedly into this as the father was. So him going crazy and being the first one that gets got, there's this, well, maybe he's just a crazy fuck. Because who would imagine that the things you did years ago on foreign soil would be coming back to get you here, where you're protected, you're cloistered, you're a fancy rich archaeologist, right? You have all of these layers of protection that will keep you from the sand.
Well, and I think that's like the cool thing about Mehmet Bey, the character that essentially is like he sets the priestess of Karnak, Karis, sets Karis out against like the Bannings and the other people. I really like this menace. Not even Mehmet Bey, but like the menace of the mummy Karis in this movie is so like unstoppable. I really like that unstoppable quality because again, like what is it? The dad is in like the padded cell, like, and
he has to like rip the bars and shit.
Ripping the bar, like I'm like, there's an unstoppability to the character of Karis in this movie that is so menacing. Because like you can't do the Karloff stare because you don't have the Karloff face, So instead, what are you gonna do? It's a smart move. You're just making him this unstoppable like machine. There's the Terminator quality to it is really cool.
Yes, the unwavering karmic scales will be tilted. Like you came to this foreign land, you were warned, you chose not to listen or obey. The ancient world was your plaything. You don't realize there's real serious emotion steeped into this religion. This mummy was a man who was so insanely in love with a woman that he risked it all and was fucking put in that room alive under the bandages to suffer and wait. And so you're just dabbling in things that you just don't care about. You don't have respect for. You want to learn everything you can for science and culture, but without really understanding or caring. It is more of an egotistical pursuit than these guys are leading on to. And I love the idea that the ancient world's like, you know what, man? Fuck you. Some things need to remain buried. When you open the fucking box, you don't know what's coming out, but it is going to come get you. And that Christopher Lee becomes this perfect fucking icon for the never-ending justice that you guys should say. And I think you would say in the movie, like, I don't know if Peter Cushing deserved this and this and that. And you're like, he was there, wasn't he?
He was there.
He so doggedly wanted this thing open, he didn't get his leg knitted back together. So, I think what Christopher Lee achieves and Terence Fisher in this one is so much more effective than just the dusty guy who hangs out for 10 years.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the thing is like it's not an assimilation into society. It's I will bring this foreign element here. Mm-hmm. Not using the word foreign properly, but either way, I'll bring this element.
No, it is. It's they come as foreigners to Egypt and fuck around and take whatever they want. And he says, fine, you want Egypt?
Fine, you want Egypt, I'm
bringing that shit here. Yeah, I will bring the foreign agent to your soil. And if you want Egypt, here it is, motherfucker. Here's
it's a really cool way to do. It's again, it just gives better motivation. I think this is the thing that is the hardest part about it. Again, for those of you who listened to it, I'm sure you noticed our Mummy episode for 1932 was uncharacteristically brief. Mm-hmm. This one, I think that there's just more to talk about and more to think about with this version of the Mummy, because there is this revenge thing going on. There is a whole other, there's vengeance against these colonizers. And I know I keep using that word, but like, that is what it is. Like, it is about taking back what has been taken. It is about what's right. I think that's what's really fascinating about it.
It's just they go around disrespecting everyone else's culture, and now they're going to pay the price, right? And again, the acting's better because they had better choices. The script is stronger. I think, like, here's an example, right? In this one, we go back to Egypt. Just watching what they did and showed us the ritual, showed us what order things went in. Yeah. All the people that carried the casket got murdered so they could hide the thing. All the soldiers that killed them got murdered. And Peter Cushing is giving us this living history lesson. Mm-hmm. And it's just the advantage Hammer had with this kind of lush technicolor thing. They showed us this actual Egyptian moment. Like, here's Christopher Lee, maybe a little too much bronzer, right? Reading the
little bit of a brown face thing going on. Not great.
Little bit. But he's he's kind of going through the rites, the rituals.
The high priest, it's fine.
We see him falling in love. We see him trying to like do forbidden knowledge. That section is so much more engaging than watching it on the watery iPad in the original. It sets a real emotional tone. We see that Christopher Lee is driven, stark, raving mad in love with this woman, right? Yeah. Whereas Ardith Bay is always just kind of like, hey, what's up? Be my girlfriend. And it's like, this guy's like insane with it. His eyes are rage-filled, right? And when he's brought back as this giant Terminator mummy and fucking lifted out of that mud puddle, I was just like, yes, absolutely. I love the mud-soaked mummy. Let's fucking go. This movie just does everything better. In the original, people just die of heart attacks. In this one, we see Christopher Lee is killing them like he's Kane from WWE. He's just grabbing them and fucking breaking their necks. Well, like, it's incredible.
The scene. Okay, this is the scene I noticed the limp for Peter Cushing. I'm like, is that for real? Because we had to look this up before the movie. Right before Karis goes through the window, might be one of my favorite mummy entrances in the entire movie. You're just like, damn! Like, just the window just shatters completely, and he just walks
he's busting
right
doors, dude.
You're
he's
like,
just
damn, this guy rules. Like, you are rooting for Karis. You're like, come on, take these fools out. It is like a heel. It is like a heel turn in wrestling. It's pretty sweet. I really did dig
great. And again, we get to the classic. Hey, is that white thing with the boobs? Is that the Egyptian princess I fell in love with? Close enough. And all of a sudden,
well, all right.
I do love the idea of just these dried, non-Visine eyes are like, it's a pussy, that'll do. And he takes the lady, right? Because he's like, that's my Egyptian lover. This scene I thought was really cool. Because essentially they're going to kill Cushing. They've killed the uncle, the grandpa, whatever. Cushing's trying to fight. He's getting whooped because he's a fucking one-legged dude in an ass-kicking contest. That doesn't work, right?
Right.
The guy who is running the mummy, what is his name? What is that character name? I can never remember. Mehmet Bey, right? Okay, so Mehmet Bey, George Pastel, that's the actor. So Mehmet Bey is like, kill her. And Karis, they focus on these eyes of Peter Cushing. And this is the moment that I wish the original had, which is he is compelled by this guy, right? That he has to do what he wants. This is a modern age follower of the same religion.
Yeah.
What you really see, though, in this moment is that twisting of the religion for personal gain.
Sure.
You see Christopher Lee, his fucking personal desires. It's all battling. None of this. The Mummy inherently implies that these religious traditions are true, that there are these Egyptian gods who are animating these things. But I love this moment because what it does is it says, while these gods must be real, the messy human shit is still more important to the characters in the movie than what the gods want. And there's something infinitely fascinating about that to me, right?
Yeah.
And Christopher Lee's mummy chooses to kill Mehmet Bey because he's like, the mummy won't do it, I will! And he's going to go over and stab this lady to death. And the mummy kills him and takes the lady for his own. And I thought that moment That's the thing that makes mummies interesting to me. It is a 100% undeniable, shot across the bow. Gods are real.
Yeah.
But people shit is more real. Right? And I thought that was cool, man. I just thought that was rad.
Yeah. I liked all the Mehmet-based stuff. I thought that was really fun.
Great performance. Great performances in this movie.
I do want to shout out, when they're starting to deduce that, when you're getting to the Anuk Son of Moon thing where he's you're like, oh, this is how this is going to wind up being a, Scream Queen thing. When Peter Cushing shows that drawing of her, and I'm like, that's a really good rendering of what she looks like. He's like, yeah, she's basically I
do love the idea that these old movies just thought we would just accept that there is no difference between white ladies and Egyptian ladies.
I mean, it's
one of those things that just ages like milk, and you're like, ugh. It's not as gross as the 32 version, but you're like, there's still some things.
There's some stuff here. But when he totally negs her, he's like, oh, that's a very striking woman. He goes, oh, thank you. And he was like, sort of a resemblance. She's like, oh, thanks a lot. That whole little exchange there was like, okay, guys, come on. Let's listen. We have a lot going on.
Doing the Jesus looks like Chad Kroger thing that all of us Americans have just accepted. And it's like, come on, dude.
It's like one of those things where I'm just watching this movie. Like, listen, we've got a lot packed in here. We don't need to sprinkle in misogyny anywhere. We're good. We have plenty of other stuff.
That's usually just kind of built into these movies. Quiet, woman, pipe down.
Built-in British, British boarding school misogyny, just built into the movie itself. You're just like, cool.
Are you the queen? I didn't think so. Shut up.
Shut up.
Right? We don't want your opinions here. Yeah, it's kind of built in. I do want to ask your opinion, though, because Christopher Lee's an unstoppable mummy, right? At the end, he's fucking stomping through back to the swamp. I guess his idea is he's going to take her back to the underwater coffin.
Yeah, I think so.
This scene is so funny because they're like, don't shoot. We got to get the lady back. I actually love this, right? Because there's a great choice they make, right? When she wakes up, and she wakes up in the mummy's arm, and she doesn't scream.
Yeah.
She just kind of looks at him and uses a really soft voice. Karis, please put me down. Please. She has empathy with this thing, right? On some level. It's a survival thing, but it shows this hey, come on, man. Please don't do this to me.
It's a much more interesting way to do it than just
than the screaming and crying, right? It's just hey, man, come on. Come on. And Karis is so torn. And he does put her down, and she kind of they're like duck in the swamp. She goes down into an inch of water, and they're like, we're cool to fire. And they start shooting. And I was like, God damn, she's still right there.
Shotguns don't just hit accuracy. All right.
Yeah, I was like, I know Christopher Lee's as wide as a fucking door, but Jesus Christ, I was like, you might still kill this lady.
Yeah.
At the end, I thought this was a really brilliant moment that I wanted your opinion on. Essentially, the movie's saying is that he gets shot enough that he falls and sinks into the mud.
Right.
Can you kill this mummy through those means? Or when she asked to be put down,
I think that's what killed him.
Did Christopher Lee just realize my fantasy's not happening?
I think that's what killed him. It's not because again, we don't have any of the pretense like we had with Ardeth Bay, where he's like, "Oh, I have this scroll that brings her back to life," and all this other shit. That's still in the movie, but I think that this is more of more of an emotional ending where it's Karis realizes it's not her. It's not this
or
person.
He has to let her go in a way he has to let her, in his normal life.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting at. It is this sort of emotional payoff where you're just oh, I have to relinquish this. I can't just assume that this it is a weird. We were just talking about this with the other one too. There's this weird progressiveness to it. It's oh, you can't just own this lady and turn her into whatever you want. It's oh, hey, I have to respect this woman's mind.
hey, Ron, it's 1959 now. Women can do stuff.
Women can do stuff.
Yeah, it's all right.
Did we again? Did
Peter
we just
Cushing
give
and
this
the guys
movie,
are all right, trickster.
Did we just give this movie another half star by it being mildly more progressive than we thought it was originally? Because
progressive or not, I like the idea of the mummy.
I do think
having
it's an emotional payoff though.
Because this mummy, I guess you would argue, do you like Ardeth Bay in the first one, who's this master manipulating priest or whatever, or in this one, do you like the Terminator, who's just driven by this love and this yearning, who at the end makes a choice, a willing choice, to defy his magical curse, right? Where the guy's like, do this, and he willingly doesn't because he might be hurting a visage of a woman he loves. And then at the end, he sees her look into his eyes and say, please stop all this. Right. And then after thousands of years, he finally realizes he's not going to get the happy ending. The love story was wrong. He was wrong to do what he did. When something's gone, it's gone. And the fleeting nature of things are what make them so precious. And he relinquishes and just sinks into the mud. It's such a... There is no moment in the original that has any of the fucking weight that moment has to me, right? Because I don't think it's bullets that took him down.
No.
I think he just was like, fuck, man, I'm out, dude. I'm not fighting the fight anymore. And I think it's beautiful. I actually really love that.
I really do think it boils down to it being like, I do think it boils down to it being like, there's nothing for me in this world. I think that's like kind of what kills it. I kills him is there is nothing for me in this world. I thought there was something. It was waiting for me. I can't just take it though. I do. There is like a level to it that is really like melancholy and fascinating. And maybe it's decidedly British because again, we've watched a lot of British movies this month. I do like that though. Like I think it's a much more interesting way to end a movie. And again, I love the Brendan Fraser Mummy, but like it's a much more interesting way to end a movie than just, save, keep the girl, save the world. Like I like the concept that it's it's almost like partially the monster's choice to not be a monster. I like that. That's a really fascinating thing to do.
I think that's cool. He's not just this instrument of nationalistic rage or whatever, right? Which would totally be justified.
Totally fine.
There is a character in the Mummy version where the mummy is the automaton. Yeah. And I think that little addition helps out so much. And again, it's not this convoluted, I have to put your spirit in a body that then I can kill and mummify and then we can do what? Right? Like, it's none of that. It's just a man who was so fucking in love with the woman, he made huge mistakes. And then he was able to be weaponized. And at the end, he's able to unravel himself with that, right? I think this one is just very concise. It's very pointed. It relies a lot on subtext, right? Of things that are very obvious now, right? About this, like, pillaging other nations and things like that, right? Dabbling in the occult. There's all these things that they don't waste a lot of time digging way deep into anything. This is a movie that wears its heart very openly right on the sleeve. And I think it's just an infinitely more effective version of this tale.
I agree. I 1000% agree. It just hits on so many, like, if it just hits on so many more points and so many more cylinders and it could just be like, 1932 is not capable of that. But I also think that there's just it's just a miss. There's a miss there because there's not enough meat on the bones. I think by adding this sort of flavor of revenge and anti-colonialism, and on top of that, like a much more emotionally rewarding ending, you have a much more fascinating movie.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Alex, what's the most messed up moment in 1959's The Mummy?
I mean, other than Peter Cushing negging his girlfriend for like not looking exactly like Princess Ananka.
Yeah, and she's like, "Hey, hold on, guy who didn't get his leg fixed and is limping around my house.
Cool limp, bro.
Maybe bring it down a notch. You want me to draw you?"
I don't know if there's like a messed up moment. I will say, like, that entrance of the mummy through that window is just fucking awesome. Like, I was just like, damn.
Yeah,
that is a really cool thing. I don't know if there's a messed up thing. I don't know.
I think I like the scene when the mummy is so conflicted, right? When Mehmet Bey's like, kill her, and he can't because this white lady somehow looks exactly like the Egyptian princess he loved.
Yeah,
and he's frozen, and the way Christopher Lee just sells with those eyes, those big bloodshot eyes, and Mehmet Bey grabs a knife and he's like, "Fuck it, I'll kill her," and goes after her, and the mummy has to unbreak its spell that's compelling it and take him down,
right,
to save this visage of the lady he lost. I thought that moment, again, in a mummy movie where the mummy is a Terminator essentially, that puts some much needed character in this that makes that ending pay off way better than the 1932 Universal version to me.
Agreed.
That's it for The Mummy. That's it for Mummies until we eventually get to the Brendan Fraser The Mummy franchise. Maybe we'll do that sometime next year. We'll just do all the mummies. Yeah. That sounds fantastic. Guys, we have more Universal shenanigans coming your way. We have more Hammer Horror shenanigans coming your way. Let me look at our schedule. So, we will have The Invisible Man, Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde, and The Wolfman next week. So very cool stuff coming up. Guys, we have Patreon exclusives. We have a mini-series going on right now. Tales from the Crypt, maybe Creep Tape Season 2, if that's out by the time you hear this. Yeah, all of this could be in play. So please go to the Messed Up Movies Podcast Patreon page so that you can support us, join all the fun, join our community. We need your help. We work really hard to make that super fun for you. Go to Misfit Parade's YouTube channel, subscribe there. That would mean the world to us. We'll see you next week.